Hi, friends.
I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an excellent little podcast.
Presenting you a little movie podcast starring Zach and Mitch.
Wait, are we doing a podcast?
Happy holiday.
You didn't answer my question. Are we doing a podcast?
Yes, we are. God damn it. Happy holidays, my friends.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah, but this isn't a holiday film.
Not
even close.
Not even a family-friendly film.
Yeah, we're talking about Babylon. Zach's number 3.
My number 3.
Yeah, studio brought to you by Paramount Pictures, directed and screenplay by Damien Chazelle.
Damien Chazelle, one of my all-time favorite directors. What did you think of Damien Chazelle's screenplay and directing?
This is his Ben Hur.
This is his Ben-Hur?
Yes. I'm going to call that right now. This is because every director wants to make an epic.
Yeah.
This is his epic film. And I got to give him props for this because this is his passion project / epic. He did. I don't want to say he hit it out of the park.
Sure.
But it's a double. I'll give it a double.
It's a double. Okay.
Yeah, it's a double. Okay.
Interesting.
But what'd you think?
Save it for your review, my friend.
Yeah. But it's a double.
Yeah, I'm a sucker for Damien Chazelle, so I really did enjoy this film.
Okay.
In terms of his directing and his scripts. There were maybe a couple of things I maybe would have cut out, maybe for like some pacing reasons and whatnot. And as well, there was a section that I maybe would have cut out as well. But overall, I'm okay with the 3-hour runtime. I thought all the editing changes were okay. But it's a Damien Chazelle film from top to bottom. Like it's got him all over this, and it was really wonderful from start to finish.
Yeah, so brief summary. At the height of early Hollywood in the 1920s, 3 artists navigate as a major shift that rocks Hollywood to its core. Thank you, Zach. Not IMDb.
I did that one.
Yeah. All right, so let me tell you how we split up the episode.
Yes, thank you, Mitch.
Absolutely. So you just heard our introduction. Cool. So we're about to enter our non-spoiler section. Zach will give his thoughts because it's his number 3. I will give my thoughts. We'll talk about the cast and other non-spoilerly things. Then we will give our review, and Zach will discuss that when that comes down to it.
I got you, friends. Don't worry.
Absolutely. And then one of us or both of us will sound an alarm, and we will enter our spoiler section. We will let you know when that happens. And then we will go on our wonderful holiday whatever that we've got planned. All right, Zach. Since it's your number 3.
My number 3.
Did this film deliver?
All right, so going all the way back to our very first episode of our top 10 most anticipated movies of 2022.
After like a trip and 2 trips to Universal and back.
That video, I swear to God, is coming. That is worth the tale itself. But I sold you on this movie. You coming out of that were like, yes, Babylon is something that I will be looking forward to moving on. Not maybe in your top 10, but you were looking forward to it.
I was looking forward to it, yes.
And then the trailers came out and I lost you.
You did?
I think so. I think you were kind of getting bored and
I was getting bored. Yeah.
You were getting bored of the trailer, which, to be fair, with the amount of times that we kind of see
saw
movies,
the trailer a lot.
We see trailers a lot, so we can very easily get bored of trailers.
Yes.
But we then sat down and finally saw Babylon. And I said this was a Damien Chazelle movie, and oh my gosh, like I'm sorry, I'm biased, but this is great, man. It was a really wonderful trip through early Hollywood and through a very huge shift in Hollywood, which I very much enjoyed. But Mitch, I have to know, because I sold you at the beginning of the year, and we're now at the end of the year, and we're finally seeing this movie.
Well, stop talking and let me tell you.
Reactions?
I enjoyed the shit out of this movie.
Yes!
I did. It was a good film, brought to you by great performances from the cast. Damien Chazelle, like I said, it's a double, not out of the park.
Okay,
not a home run,
I'll take it.
But it's a double. He drove in a run. But there's a sexual innuendo there, but...
There's a bit in here.
I had to talk about it because of this film.
You're good. You're fine. But we'll go ahead before you really kind of go into it, because I'm the only person in the room with you. I don't want to be going that far. we'll move on to one of the sexiest men alive ever, which is Brad Pitt.
And one of his best performances.
Yeah, you'll give it that? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Second best, in my opinion.
Second best.
Third best. No, third best after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood
Okay.
and Inglourious Bastards.
Okay.
Period.
All right. All right.
Period. Amen. Goodbye, the end. That's
There
all
we
I
go.
have to say. Brad Pitt.
There we go.
Brad Pitt, everybody.
Brad Pitt. Yeah. Inglourious Bastards is still my favorite performance from
Okay.
him, but he does really give a solid performance, and he really has a lot to play with this role because you really do have a lot to play with starting at the beginning of this film. From where he starts to where he ends is a very mass shift. So you really get to see him play a whole lot, and it's so great and
Yeah.
so detailed. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I got to give him a lot of credit
But
for
my
this.
favorite one
Margot
is our
Robbie?
next friend, Margot Robbie.
Nellie Leroy. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you ain't kidding. She is not kidding, friends. She was this. I'm going to call it now. This is her best work.
This is her best performance.
Yes. I mean, because I saw
love
her
her.
in I, Tonya. Mm-hmm. That was her best work, in my opinion. This is 10 times better, in my opinion.
Yes.
This is purely our opinion, friends. But I got to say, she's a front runner for Best Actress. And
Oh, yeah.
I think she's a front runner.
Flat out, like, if we had to rate performances, this is a clean plate performance for me on
Oh,
her.
absolutely.
Like, this is by far a amazing from start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
This is who I am. This is what I bring to the table whenever I do a movie kind of a performance.
Yeah.
And this is her reel. She just needs this as like whenever she's auditioning, she's like, "Go watch Babylon." That's
Just
all.
go watch
That's all I
Babylon.
have to say. Like, just watch Babylon.
Well, think where she came from. She was in Wolf of Wall Street.
Wolf
She
of
was
Wall
in Suicide Squad. The Suicide Squad.
as an
Birds of Prey.
amazing Harley Quinn.
Yeah, absolutely. But she just gets better and better and better, and she's just every performance she does, she knocks it out of the park. Even in a shit film like Amsterdam.
Yeah, she still stands out in Amsterdam.
Absolutely. Oh, by the way, if you don't follow us on TikTok, please follow us. But Amsterdam is in my not top 10.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
That was not one of the great films.
Yeah,
of this year.
it's a bad film. All right, but our last cast performance, Diego Calva as Manny Torres. Here's the thing. First, he started out not great, honestly.
Yeah.
But as the film progressed and his character became his own, he got better.
Sure.
Is it a good performance? Yes. Is it a great performance? No.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, I gotta call it. It is not a great performance. It's still good. He still did what he needed to do. He still was he had great chemistry with Margot Robbie and good chemistry with Brad Pitt. They shared some scenes together, and he became this powerful character later on. I wish I saw it earlier.
That's fair.
It just took a little bit longer than what I wanted to see.
I think it was because he was a bit more of a blank slate character at the beginning.
Which makes sense, but I wanted it quicker.
That's fair. Yeah, it's just because I definitely say, like in the first act, definitely Margot Robbie and Brad Pitt are definitely stronger.
Yes.
And I feel it's because their personalities are stronger at the beginning, where his performance, again, he has hunger. But that's almost what just kind of defines his character at the beginning. Like, that's kind of it. But then you see kind of the more reasoning why as you kind of go through the film as to why he has that hunger to kind of grow through and drive through the movie industry.
Sure.
So it really kind of is really wonderful to kind of see that. And I agree. His performance builds as you go throughout the film. So
Sure.
I agree with that.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that wraps up our cast performances.
It does.
Which then moves into one of my personal favorites of any Damien Chazelle movie, which is the score.
Yeah, it was very well done. Why don't you talk about it, and I'll look up who did the score.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So, heart to heart, Damien, here. I freaking love you because of your love for jazz. Because every movie that you do, you have some form of jazz in it. And oh my God. La La Land is amazing and a love letter to jazz, but I almost feel like that this soulful jazz like soundtrack that you've built for this movie takes almost another level of cake for jazz music.
Justin Hurwitz did the music.
Well done. I really love what Justin did with this. He picked very wonderful songs, picked a really wonderful motif that is played nonchalantly through the trailer, but continuously plays throughout the movie. It's really well done and really marked well. What did you think of the score, my friend?
Yeah, it got catchy, and I was hoping I didn't hear the dun 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 from the trailer, but we heard it at a perfect time early in the film and later in the film, and I'm like, oh, I like that. It's catchy.
It drives the film forward.
It does.
It almost like is. I hate to say it, but it's almost as if it's the
driving force, maybe.
Well, driving force, but it's when you go back to very old Gregorian chants.
Yes,
there's a very well-known Gregorian chant that's known as like
I know what you're talking about.
It starts with a D. It's not the. It's.
We're gonna find that out, and it's gonna be after the recording. Yeah,
but it's like and I did literally an entire report of it because it was very well used in The Hunchback of Notre Dame. But it's basically like God Save You or something like that. And it every single time it drives the plot forward for Hunchback of Notre Dame, it does the same. This motif does the exact same thing here. Every time that this motif comes up in the movie, it moves the plot forward, and it's really phenomenal.
Well, and it segues into the setting of the film, where the setting of the film is also a driving force, because, it's set in the 1920s Hollywood. Hollywood was booming in the 1920s, because you had Charlie Chaplin, Douglas Fairbanks, Errol Flynn, I think, was around that time.
Yep.
And they're starting to wonder, like, what can we do to make films better? And this film categorizes those films and this section better than Singing in the Rain, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Singing in the Rain's still a great film.
Oh, 100%.
But this film, I think, what's the word I'm looking for? Describes, I think, is a word. I can't.
It gets more into like the grittiness.
Yes, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah, it does it perfectly, because everyone wants to see, like, how did silent films segue into talkies? Yeah, and it does it perfectly. I can't really talk about it because we're in the non-spoiler section, but let's go into our next topic. Cinematography.
Yeah.
Zach, you can take this one because you've been chawing at the bit.
Oh, God. There are two directors that I feel like that genuinely understand how to do cinematography. That's Steven Spielberg and Damien Chazelle.
Yes.
Christopher Nolan knows how to tell a story and how to capture specific moments, but it's cinematography goes to Damien Chazelle and Steven Spielberg. Sometimes Sam Mendes for like a 1917 kind of thing, but like I feel like Sam Mendes tries to push the boundaries while Steven Spielberg and Damien Chazelle know to understand the full picture. I really did enjoy the cinematography coming from here. Now, obviously, Damien Chazelle is not the cinematographer for the movie, but he knows where he wants to place his shots.
Yeah, he called the shots.
Where to go from where to where. Sure. So I really do love what it comes down to. And these shots are so beautiful, and he just knows how to capture the 1920s.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was just about to say, it reminded me of an early 1920s silent picture for certain bits of the film, and they needed it. Because you can't talk about a 1920s pre-Depression era film and not have those kind of shots.
Exactly. And also, really, another really wonderful thing that I also feel like he really knew, doing those kind of films and having like silent films, you also really need to know the importance of silence.
Yes. Silence is golden.
They use silence so well in this film.
Yeah.
Extremely well. So that's another thing that I have to give props, not only to the sound editor, but to Damien as well, is his use of silence.
Well, because silence can also be a part of music almost. Like you don't hear anything like, like just like right now, silence. We're so still. Silence.
Yeah. And it really is used effective in this one.
It does. It was really well done. No, I'm glad you picked up on the silence because that was something I wanted to talk about. But the silence was very golden in this film. All right, friends.
That is our non-spoiler section, my friends of Babylon.
Review time.
We're moving on to our review. Is it okay if I split it on up for our review section?
Absolutely, my friend.
All right. So for our reviews, we do it a bit differently here for Excellent Little Podcasts. We like to split it up into 3 categories. Our lowest category, we like to say, is Feed It to the Dog, which we don't care for the film. We think that you should see it to form your own opinion, but it does not get our stamp of approval. Our next one up would be Cook a Little More, which we feel like it needs a little more seasoning, maybe a director change, actor change, script rewrite, just to kind of push it up to our next category, which would be Eat It Up, which we thoroughly enjoyed the film. We recommend that you see it in theaters if you can, but if you can't, we understand it, but definitely pick it up on streaming or on DVD if anything, if you can.
Or VHS.
Or VHS, or on frickin' real film if you can find it.
Just don't pirate it, please.
Just don't pirate. But
all right,
Mitch, since I really sold you at the beginning of the year, coming out that we finally get to the end of the year, my friend, what did you think of Babylon as your review? Sir.
There's a part of me that wants to take it to the Phantom category, but it's not quite there yet.
Okay.
So I'm going to eat this up.
Yeah.
It's a close Phantom category.
Yeah.
It's close.
Yeah.
The runtime can get a little slow at times.
Yep.
The pacing was kind of out of whack at points in the film. There's a certain cameo that I wanted a little bit more of.
That's fair.
But yeah, it's just the film is really good. I think it's going to get nominated for Best Picture.
Oh, yeah.
But I will say this, it's going to divide a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I think that's what Damien Chazelle wanted.
Yeah.
Zach?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. It hurts me to say that this isn't a Phantom category either. This isn't Eat It Up. It's a very high Eat It Up. It's so close. It comes down to that there were a couple of things that really should have been taken out of this film. There were, and again, I think, as much as I loved his performance by the end of the film, I think you hit it on the nail. The actor that portrayed Manny kind of had a rough start.
Yes.
Got a handle of it and was able to get a handle on it. And I really loved him by the end. But I think that kind of hurt the film just a little bit just to get on the rocky start. Not saying that this film starts terribly. This film doesn't. It starts with a bang.
Yeah.
But there are some minute things that make it kind of go down a little bit for me to just Eat It Up.
Yeah.
Again, really wonderful. Highly recommend. Definitely see this in theaters.
Sure.
But it is an Eat It Up for me.
All right, my friends. So we're about to enter our spoiler territory. Yeah. So if you need to leave,
that's okay.
Leave us one of these. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, and
notification icon.
Absolutely. Or if you want to get personal with us, email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com. But now it's spoiler time.
Spoiler time.
Yeah, it's spoiler time.
Yeah.
All right. So the movie starts with elephant crap.
But not like bad, like
it's gross.
It's gross, but it's great. I really was very close to on the floor for that.
No, because Manny is driving this elephant to a party, and the vehicle that he's pulling
is pulling another vehicle that is actually carrying the elephant.
And it gives way and it's starting to fall. So Manny and his helper start pushing, and the elephant crabs on the helper. And it's bad.
It's bad, y'all. Oh, but it was
diarrhea
so
bad.
Funny.
It was
so great.
Yeah.
But the next thing that
we also, I feel like we need to mention this, Zach, the blackface.
Oh, yeah, we should definitely mention that. This movie does hit on blackface. I feel like you can't do a movie of the 1920s and not hit upon blackface. I feel like it was done intentionally with the point to put it down.
Yeah. We heard a lot of winces in the crowd.
Yeah.
I was one of them. I think you were one of them. And
yeah.
It's a
rough
tough.
scene.
Yeah, it's tough.
But not because of like it was poorly acted or directed.
No.
It's just because one character puts another character into the position where he's like, you have to do it for the other actors, because if you don't do it, then we have to cut the film entirely.
Yeah.
And
it's an African American that has to do it.
And it's an African American that has to do it. And the pain that you see both on the person forcing him to do it and on the African American that has to put the blackface on while performing in blackface is so palpable and so full of like hurt that I feel like it kind of just puts in the nail in the coffin of, yeah, blackface is done, blackface is over. We have to acknowledge that it was in our past, but we are never doing it for the point.
Well, and people that do it for Halloween need to quit.
Need to stop.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But we're not on that. We'll end it at that. All right, the next one is transition to talkies. It hit it on the nail.
Yeah.
Better than Singing in the Rain, in my opinion.
Oh, 100%.
Still a good movie. Singing in the Rain, good movie, but I think it did it better.
Oh, 100%. Because I feel like it hit the just how important it was that Jazz Singer was. Now, Jazz Singer was not the first talkie.
No.
It wasn't, but it was the first to hit the mainstream.
Yes.
So, and that is because of Al Jolson's star power is what brought it to the mainstream. And it caught like wildfire.
Yes, it did.
Like literally after Jazz Singer, talkies were the talk of the town, and almost every single production studio almost exclusively did talkies after that.
They had to.
They realized what the writing on the wall. And I feel like Damien did a really good job of capturing that of this is the next thing.
Especially the scene when Nelly has to do the one scene in 10 takes.
Yeah.
And there's a poor guy has the camera is like literally steaming, and he dies at the end after they finally get the shot, and he dies because of heat stroke, I'm pretty sure. And we're all just like, oh, and the scene was perfect, and he faints, and we're all like, oh shoot. He died because he died of heat stroke. I think.
Might I say, Damien Chazelle is like the king of jump cuts.
Yes.
Because like, oh my God, did he know when to do a jump cut of like, oh my God, he's dead. Jump cut to the next thing. Like I was like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah.
But then
that's kind of what it deals with, you know, how
it takes its moment. Yeah. It takes its serious moment and then goes to the next thing.
Yeah, because it also brought up the point that when the talkies came, they brought in sound stages, because originally silent films were filmed on lots, and you could film multiple films like around that area because you didn't have to worry about sound because there was no sound. Yeah. But here you're dealing with sound, so they had to make sound stages. Yeah. So you get a nice little tour of that. And also one quick thing before we'll segue. It brings up the point about how silent film actors, they slowly drifted away when talkies happened.
Which brings us kind of into our next bit.
The demises.
Which is the demises. Each one kind of goes through their own deal. We have, which it's really kind of cool because we have the established, the new, and the adapter. Yes. I feel like
the
innovator. Yeah. So we have, with Brad Pitt being the old regime, he just can't find his footing, and he tries and tries and tries,
and it's bomb after
bomb, and he unfortunately commits suicide, which a well done portrayal of suicide, I would say. And then we have the newcomer being Margot Robbie, who is
thrives,
who is a newcomer kind of at the wrong time.
Yeah.
She would have been a great newcomer for silent films, but then they are at the past.
Yeah.
And then she kind of bombs because that wasn't what her specialty was. Talkies weren't her specialty. So she does well at the beginning, but then kind of bombs because that wasn't what she was there for.
Right.
And then you have the adapter in Manny, who does really, really well.
Yeah. Knows how to run a business.
And unfortunately, his demise comes from him just betting on the wrong horse.
Yep.
But it was so well done. I love this story.
Yeah.
And then you had the really wonderful, like being part of the big
And
theme
Tobey
of being,
Maguire's in this too.
Oh, well, Tobey Maguire is in this too. And I loved his performance, but
I wanted more.
I did want more. And then you have this really wonderful kaleidoscope of you want to be part of something more theme. And you kind of get to this theme and like spit into like Searchlight's all catalog. It was so wonderfully done.
Yeah, it was really nice.
But yeah, that's Babylon.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us, my friends. Before we leave, don't forget to leave us a like, subscribe, hit that notification bar.
Yep.
If you want to get personal, email us at elpodcastmz@gmail.com. But happy holidays, my friends. Until next time,
I'm Zach.
I'm Mitch.
And we are an excellent little podcast.